Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jerry Tan from Libocho United World College, and she is my partner, Campy Man from Queen Elizabeth School. So today we're presenting on a topic very different from the others. We're not talking about iceberg, and we're not talking about northern lights, but a subject that doesn't seem very nice to everyone, which is garbage. And Campy, if you have to use two adjectives to describe our subject, what would you use?
Sympathetic and disappointing.
I have to say I totally agree with these two adjectives because it is really sympathetic and disappointing to see how there isn't an effective garbage treatment system in the Arctic. And today, by looking at the solution of how handling the garbage, and it is a reflection that a balance should be struck between simplicity and modernization. So first of all, let's look at the hypothesis we have. The first hypothesis we have is that due to the influence of more Western countries and the local Inuits, and there is an increasing rate of infrastructure, which left lots of garbage left behind. And another hypothesis we have is that the soil depth is not deep enough in the Arctic. So there isn't a landfill that could be created like those in Hong Kong. We can bury the garbage. And so by talking to the professors in the Arctic and by talking to the local peoples, it is our reflection and it is our findings that these two hypotheses are proof valid. And let's look at this photo. This photo shows a lot of garbage items there. And it is a complete shock when you step on a nail and when you see one side there are some oil barrels and on the other side there are a couple of beer cans there. This is not supposed to be what's happening out there, but unfortunately this is the cruel fact. And they all show a common feature, which is the non-biodegradability. And I'll talk about that further on. And another important finding is that actually the garbage system. How does it work in the Arctic? The first of all, in Euro Islands, there simply isn't any policy. There is no regulation. You can dump your garbage here and there, no regulations. Well, it's better in the town area, which there is actually a centralized system. The Danish government collects the garbage from different houses and they dump it in a garbage mountain there. But then it is important to look at what's the destiny of those garbage. Just now I talk about the soil is not deep enough. They can't be buried there. So the biodegradable ones, they will be incinerated and then they will naturally degrade. But what about those non-biodegradable ones? It's quite simple solution. They're dumped there without treatment. And it sounds very unbelievable for both you and me, I believe, but then this is the fact. And this is also very conflicting and quite interesting things that we observed. And the photo below, it shows a hole dug by the Asian people, which is how they live in for thousands of years ago. And you can see that it's actually, they can self-sustain, and it's a very self-sustainable way. Because of the food chain and the natural cycle, the earth can self-recover from the harm they've brought to the environment. But the upper one is what's happening now. You can see all barrels, and you can see the Western houses built there. This is not something supposed to be happening in Arctic. Our Mother Earth doesn't expect them to happen. And when they dump there, and this is the fact that the Earth is ruined.
So, after our investigation, we start to think about the balance between simplicity and modernization. If we are going to choose a simple lifestyle, does it mean we're going to stop consumption and return to the wild? It is simply impossible, because we can't destroy what we have built and to finish what the contemporary world we have established. So this is a good time for us to really think about this problem, which is not to stop consumption right away and try to ask ourselves, is it necessary for us to consume as much as we do today? Moreover, the Arctic expedition creates a lot of carbon footprints, like the consumption of fuels and food. So, is it worth it? By answering these questions, we're creating a friendlier environment for we, the people, to live in. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, let's pass the time to Gin and Chi.